Things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Fun times. If you hadn't noticed, the news in the last 24 hours has been a little bit nuts. And all over the place, I might add. So, where to begin? I named the show tonight something goofy because, I mean, come on. This is insane. This is insane. And I'm speaking about all of it, but I was kind of talking about the whole McAfee / Epstein thing. Now, there's a lot of talk, obviously, about that. right now in a lot of different conspiracy theories. There was I guess it was an Instagram message that came out at or right after or something like that of his time of death, which just had a big letter Q. I don't know. I don't know. I do know that it's important that we not let ourselves get too wrapped up in that stuff, because we do have, believe it or not, more important stuff that's likely going to have a direct effect on us at some point or another. Whereas this stuff with McAfee probably won't. McAfee, however you say his name. I think I've always gotten it wrong, to be honest. Let's see. The other thing, and I do have articles. Let me go ahead and give you guys the web browser view there. Real quick, we talked about it, but I mean, he had stated some time ago that if he suicides himself, he didn't. And it was an old tweet that he had said, and then I had told you about the Instagram post. Again, I don't know. The man was definitely older. He was aging, and I'm pretty sure he knew that as far as freedom is concerned, that was likely the end of the road for him. So sorry about that. So anyway, who's to say? I don't know on this one. I don't know. Now, Epstein, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure he was helped out. Anyway, like I say, this is, while it's entertaining at the same time, yeah, it's important we know what's going on with these people, and that we're told the truth about what's going on with these people. That's indeed important. But I've been trying not to take my eye off the bigger balls that are getting thrown at us right now. God, that was a horrible visual. Anyway, so Biden apparently is trying to rewrite the Constitution and the ideology behind it, especially when it comes to the Second Amendment. I was just reading an article right before the show. In fact, I think I tweeted it out just like real shortly. Here we go. Yeah, last thing. F-15s. In fact, no, I don't have it up. F-15s and nuclear weapons. Biden brushes off point of Second Amendment and undermines insurrection narrative and gun control push. So, he was essentially saying that, the claim that the Second Amendment is for fighting off a tyrannical government is essentially silly, and that, we don't have nukes. They've got nukes and F-15s, right? That was very unsettling to read, what Biden said. He more or less said that we don't have a right at all to go against government. And therefore, there's really no need for the Second Amendment. I mean, that's it in a nutshell, what he was saying. We better do something. Enough of this sitting on our hands crap. We better do something. Because the decades of sitting back and letting the left control the narrative, not helping this country out. And now you've got a puppet that's in office. And that's more dangerous than if he was autonomous. We'll see. But not good. The other thing that I wanted to let's see, should I go ahead and let me go ahead and get these others knocked out real quick. North Korea rejects U.S. envoy's offer to meet anywhere, anytime to restart talks. So I know this is a country that not a lot of people think about, not a lot of people are concerned about. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm worried about them. But I'm telling you that the most foolish thing that you can do is underestimate your enemy. That is flat out stupid. And if you underestimate your enemy, you deserve what you get. Just remember that. There's something to be concerned about at this point. They have working, active nuclear subs. I'm not talking necessarily nuclear powered. I don't know about that. But I do believe that they do have nuclear warhead capable submarines. Absolutely. I don't know if they're nuclear powered or not. But anyway, it only takes one sub and one nuke to put a big hurtin'. Something we might want to keep an eye on, because I think it's going to flare up. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and we all know this. I've spent decades watching what's going on and trying to figure out what's really happening versus what we're seeing. And it is near to impossible to put a finger on. But what I can tell you is that there is very evidently a huge power struggle going on. Not only within our nation, but within the international community as well. And it almost seems as if they're all struggling to be higher up on the totem pole of some grand order. It's almost that's what it seems. So, man, don't underestimate North Korea, without a doubt. But be very mindful of other nations. Be very mindful of your own. Very, very mindful of your own. Like I say, this is something to keep an eye on. I definitely wouldn't take my eye off of it. I thought this was an interesting headline here. 153 Houston Methodist Hospital Network employees fired or quit after refusing to obey coronavirus vaccination mandate. Now, if I recall, I read a headline something similar to this maybe a couple of weeks or so ago. And I believe the number was something like 168, maybe-ish. So if that gives you any of an indication how many people had stuck to their whatever it was, their intuition, their decision, whatever, that's a hell of an indicator. Along this line of questioning, we're hearing continually that there's only like 37% or something like that of the American people or of United States citizens vaccinated. I'm telling you, there's going to be a push, and when I say push, I mean a mandate. Uncle Joe wanted 70% of us vaccinated by July 4th. Well, when not even 40% of us is vaccinated on June 23rd, I don't see that happening. And in fact, as the clock keeps tick-tocking, you'd be pressed for time to be able to administer all those vaccines in that amount of time. There's that tiny detail. This is not good. And you've got what? The WHO, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I thought I saw headlines that said something to the effect of they were recommending that children not take the vaccine, I believe. And here in the U.S., they're doing everything they can to... Hell, I think they would inject it in a child in the womb if they've given the chance. This is ridiculous, what's going on. I know I'm speaking to the choir here. I get that. But and the only thing that I can surmise from this, if 63% or so of individuals have not been vaccinated or fully vaccinated, then I can only believe it's because they've got one issue or another. Now, I'll tell you what, they mandate it. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I do believe that a mandatory vaccine is a red line. It is a line in the sand for many, many, many individuals, myself included. I think that's just as much of a red line as firearm confiscation. So, hang on, I gotta yell at a dog. It's kind of funny because I said, hang on, I gotta yell at a dog, and muted the mic, and by the time I got the mic muted, she had quit. So, I'm not saying it had anything to do with it. but it probably had something to do with it. So anyway, the other big deal that's in the news today, which I wanted to kind of put attention to, it's a situation that's going on right now. What is that? The Black Sea, I believe, over there. Not to be racist or anything like that. I don't know what else you would call it. It's the Black Sea. Anyway, so apparently there was a British destroyer. Well, here's the headline here. British destroyer violates Russia's border in the Black Sea. Russian ships and fighter jet respond with warning shots, says Defense Ministry. Now, So it was confirmed that something happened here by a journalist, BBC journalist on British ship, says HMS Defender, says vessel made a deliberate move in passing through Russian waters to make a point. Well, if that isn't clear provocation, okay. Then what is? Well, apparently, I obviously can't confirm any of this because I wasn't there. But apparently it's been said that Russia supposedly was dropping some type of ordnance or something like that ahead of the ship. I guess. I wasn't there. But that's one of the things that's being said. So what's going on? I don't know. However, this is also another one of the headlines that I shared out today. Russia to summon British ambassador over incident where destroyer entered Russian territory in the Black Sea, Foreign Ministry reports. So, man, I have to put myself in the position here. I do that with as many things as I can. And if somebody encroaches upon my space and I tell them to back off repeatedly and they don't back off, I'm not going to give warnings. I'm kind of shocked. I mean, what Britain did was ballsy. Very, very ballsy. That was a stupid risk, in my opinion. I think also, particularly where it was, kind of adds to it. Now, I don't think that's all that was going. I don't think that the HMS Defender, I don't think that their sole mission was to what was it said? To make a point. Nah. I have no doubt that it's probably loaded down with surveillance equipment and what have you. So that while it was in Rome, so to speak, it could get as much information as possible. But like right here, it says the ship purposely moved into the waters near Crimea within 12 miles of the coast. They say that it was that Britain calls it a recognized international shipping lane. However, apparently Russia disputes that fact. then they claim that that is Russian waters because of Crimea, essentially. So, this is something to keep an eye on. I really have a feeling that it's only a matter of time, and one of these things is going to blow up. I don't know if I covered the China. There was a China headline in the headlines today as well. Man, I'm telling you, this is insane. By the way, I didn't even give updates as far as we're concerned. I just kind of went right into things. I'm telling you, the headlines today, they kind of had my head spinning. So anyway, updates, because there is updates. 10, I want to thank 10 paper makers. She helped us out with the Grow Tent project. So she went to the link. I put that video out today with the Grow Tent, and there's a link in there where it takes you to Amazon. It shows you basically our Amazon wish list for the Grow Tent, and you can literally they have our address. It's kind of like a wedding registry kind of thing, to where you purchase it and then they send it to our address and whatever. You guys probably know more about that stuff than I do. I'm old, give me a break. But anyway, so she had helped us out tremendously, and I wanted to recognize and thank her for that. Yeah, it's almost everything I need. Well, the only thing that's left is the stuff that's on the list. That's it. That's it. Just a little bit of hose. I think there was tees left on there, and then 2 size tees, and then the dripper things. But that's it. Then that system will be started, and we'll be getting some tasty lettuce and spinach and kale and peas, and it's gonna be awesome. So, and the cool thing is I'm showing you guys how to do it, because it's a 2 foot by 4 foot tent. I mean, come on, we live in a real tiny house. I mean, it's not a tiny house, but I mean, you could actually pardon me, you could probably actually you might be able to actually classify this. I mean, it's on a foundation, so you couldn't, but I mean, size-wise, square footage-wise, this I think would actually fall within what would be considered a tiny home. In some places, I think it's different in different places, but anyway, I'm pretty sure it's under or right at about 400 square feet. So just to give you an idea. But anyway, if I can fit a 2 foot by 4 foot grow tent in our little bitty home, man, almost anybody can manage to squeeze that out. You don't have to have the 1,000-watt lights like I've got. In fact, I'm wanting to swap those out for something much less powerful. For growing greens and stuff, you don't need all that light. So anyway, it's incredibly easy to be able to power a system like that, especially with the lower wattage light, in an SHTF event. And so that's why that direction is the direction I want to go. Not only in preparation, but also in showing you how I do it, so that you guys can do it too, and without going out and getting kits and this and that and all kinds of stuff that you don't need, especially for a system that you're going to want that to be essentially dedicated to itself. You know what I mean? You're if you have a grow tent running off its own power source and stuff like that, you're going to want that kind of on its own system. You're not going to want that tied in with all the rest of your stuff, unless you've got a huge, enormous system, and then go for it. But anyway, I want to show you guys how to do that stuff. So that's what the goal is. And as soon as we can get the rest of the stuff, that'll get started. I still got the Coleman stove project that I'm going to do, where I rebuild the Coleman stove. It's right there in the closet. Still got that project to do, and plenty more. Got a shed to fix out there that I'm going to take you along, show you how I fix it, and gosh, a lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff. One thing at a time, though. Trying to get this grow tent project started first. I got to get out there and get that shed project taken care of. So that's going to be sometime here soon, and then. And stove, as soon as I got the stuff to do that project to be done. Fun times. But my goal is to try to help show you guys as many different things, many different skills as I can. So, aside from doing news. So, let's do that, because otherwise I'll be teaching you all kinds of crazy, stupid stuff right now. Let me see where the hell I was at. Okay, I did pretty well cover all of that shiznit with the HMS Defender. So like I say, keep a very close eye on that. And I wouldn't discount North Korea right now, because they're making it very, very clear that they have no interest, not even the slightest little bitty interest in working with the Biden administration. So I would imagine that you'd probably can count on seeing more missile tests and stuff like that, different type of weapons tests and stuff like that. But right now, I think North Korea is going through some troubles with. I think COVID is an issue. I was hearing, and there's something else going on over there. Now, mind you, anything and everything that I hear, I hold with a grain of salt, because propaganda, yo. So, I'm not there. If I can't go there, I can't tell you 110% what it's like to be there. It could be a paradise for all I know. Can't tell me that your government and your media would not lie to you. Never in a million years will you convince me of that. And if you haven't learned that in the last year and a half, well, shit, I'm I've got a good deal for you. Man. So, let me see. I think I covered pretty much. I mean, as soon as that stuff comes in, I'll work on getting the drains set up on the tent. If I can figure out how I can do it to where it's useful, I'll make a. Yeah, actually, I do. I know. I'll make a video on when I do the drains, put the pots together and stuff. So I know how I'll do that. So yeah, expect that to be happening pretty soon. Other than that, can't think of any updates. Can't think of anything. So let me go ahead and do the headlines, and we'll get the hell out of here. And got one more day this week, and then we'll be off. Fun times. Alright, let me have a sip of tea and a couple of vapes, and I'm not in a super big hurry or nothing. Gonna make me some e-juice tomorrow, I guess. Turn to run low. I need to. I ought to make a video doing that. Actually, I might do that tomorrow. I might do a video of me making e-juice. So I told Tracy that I was going to a while back, and I never have. And so there's a million out there. There's probably out of the million that's out there, there's probably 2 million that'd be better than my video, but I'll make one nonetheless. So, oh, I do have one other bit of news to pass on. Not good news, but I did want to make mention of this. Nancy Morgan Hart is what she was known on YouTube as. Headlines with a Voice. She has passed on. She passed on the evening of the 21st, I think it was. But I wanted to make mention of that. She was a well-respected, well-loved commentator, I guess would be the best way to describe. She did news, and she did some commentation. But she made it very distinct, the difference. Very professional in what she did. So she will be truly missed by I'm sure, both loved ones and the YouTube community as a whole that ran in those circles. So I was a subscriber. I certainly enjoyed listening. I like the... I just like the calm voice, I'm not a fan of the Alex Joneses and stuff, and I know I get worked up myself sometimes. That's not a good thing when I get worked up. I'm not proud of that. That's not a good thing. I don't want to be an Alex Jones. So it's nice to hear a nice, soft, comforting voice when it comes to the news, doing the news. So anyway, let me go ahead and do some headlines here. All right, here we go. And by the way, I still haven't added more. I've got to add more to the website. Under the resources tab, there's a indoor gardening button now. When you click that, I hate my own ads, so if you hate my ads, I don't blame you. I hate them too. And sometimes you just gotta wait, and it goes. But anyway, I don't have anything there yet. I've got to figure out how I'm going to structure the stuff I'm going to put on here. But what I'm going to do is not only it's going to be like a timeline, right? So you're going to be able to, from the start, you're going to have the beginning videos and stuff. And in the beginning of it, I am actually going to list, that way if people want to do this, the different components. Now, there will be differences. For instance, like the light, I'll probably list a couple of different lights, either option I would recommend. One cheaper, one a little more expensive. I know I was kind of checking them out the other day, getting kind of an idea of what kind of lights were out there, what kind of prices were on them. And there was one that was really nice. I think that was around like $130, and it was a really nice dimmable light. And then there was others that were around like $37. So got a bit of a range there, it would seem. But I will put that stuff there, the tent itself, stuff like that. Some of the stuff I'm not going to be able to really provide you a link for. My suggestion would be find what you can. Coffee table, find what you can. Recycle, reuse what you can. I don't know where you're going to get empty Folgers containers. Drink a shitload of coffee like we do. That's the only thing I can tell you. Other than that, I'll list all the components, or link them so that way anybody that wants to do this can do it. I think, like I said, I think it's an incredible way, and I don't think it's overestimating to say that if I was producing food in both tents, that we could supplement a third. I don't think that's crazy. So we'll see. Anyway, let's see. All of them from today. Money from home. Richest U.S. families keep wealth to themselves instead of generating more, a study reveals. I'm a numbers guy. Andrew Yang concedes New York mayoral race after primary polls show lagging support. 4,000 Peloton treadmills require additional $39 per month subscription after safety updates. So apparently this super expensive treadmill, okay, and I have a personal giggle with this because I told you guys that I worked in an electronics test and repair lab many moons ago, and if you recall, if you've been playing along on the home game, I had said that our main product that we put out was the motor controllers and the digital display boards for treadmills. So I kind of had a giggle. But a $4,000 treadmill, that's insane. That's stupid expensive. We didn't build stupid shit like that. No. I couldn't tell you what the brand names were for the treadmills that we built, but I'd never seen the housing. I think they might have had some of the housings there, but I'd never paid attention. I didn't give a damn. There were several brands, though. You wouldn't believe the amount of products that you buy that are produced, or you can buy, that are produced in the same place that just have different names, different housings, whatever. But in reality, they're produced in the same place. Believe me, I know. I worked for one that did it. Anyway. Nuts. India considers taxing crypto purchases from overseas exchanges. Magnitude 6.0 earthquake in Peruvian capital interrupts news broadcasts and sends people fleeing their homes. Iran kickstarts production at giant offshore oil field. 2 arrested as Virginia school board shuts down meeting over parents' loud protest against transgender policy and critical race theory. UK's Department for Education ridiculed by left for encouraging kids to celebrate One Britain, One Nation Day. But some Brits love it. Sorry, I kind of butchered the headline. Let's see. Russia demands U.S. scrap aggressive Black Sea naval war games, warning drills fuel tensions and increase risk of deadly incidents. Now, I didn't say this headline earlier. This was before the incident with the HMS Defender. Arab Nazis, Belarus Lukashenko blasts German foreign minister over call for sanctions on eve of Hitler invasion anniversary. Beijing, and I didn't mention this one earlier either. Beijing brands U.S. greatest security risk creator in the region after U.S. warship enters Taiwan Strait. So you've got Britain testing Russian territorial waters, and you've got the United States. Well, those I'm pretty sure are truly international waters, but you know, you've got China and the United States kind of having words about that. So, McDonald's and other fast food giants push pricey meals instead of dollar menus. Flights from Shenzhen to Beijing suspended amid COVID-19 outbreak ahead of Communist Party celebration. Hong Kong's Apple Daily closes days after police raid tabloid's office over allegations of collusion with a foreign country. Well, we will not compromise on values. European Commission chief blasts Hungarian LGBT promotion law and threatens retaliation. Let's see. Okay, we talked about that one. First remote surgery conducted by indigenous technology in Iran with dog as trialist. IKEA employees walk off the job after company serves fried chicken and watermelon for Juneteenth. Probably not a smooth move. That is, who in the hell came up with that, right? Who was in the office that day and said, you know what we should do? Because that person, I guarantee you, isn't working there anymore. Israel to quarantine anyone deemed exposed to Delta strain of COVID-19, even those vaccinated or formerly infected. Let's see. Michael Gove under fire after branding calls for New Scotland independence vote reckless and foolish. 400,000 EU citizens living in the UK given 28-day warning to apply for post-Brexit right to remain. A COVID crisis caused wealth inequality and created millions of new millionaires, says Credit Suisse. A sabotage attempt foiled at Iranian nuclear agency building, says the media. Prevalence of Delta COVID variant increases as much as fourfold in France as infections shoot up in the southwest. Covered that one. WHO reports issues at plant involved in Russian Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine production. Moscow says issues fixed and jab unaffected. Russian prosecutors strike down case of anime-loving teenagers arrested over LGBT plus pride flag, demanding officers are punished. The Brexit fallout 5 years on, and UK Home Secretary claims Brits in the EU are being discriminated against. Suspected Taliban attack on Afghan hospital sends vital COVID vaccines up in flames amid surge in cases. Tehran blasts U.S. attempt to undermine free speech after Washington's takeover of Iranian news websites. Covered that one. Anti-COVID measures tightened in New Zealand over fears of Delta variant after 100 plus days without new coronavirus cases. EU Commissioner Thierry Breton suggests Brussels could block vaccine exports to UK if it fails to comply with Brexit terms. Let's see. Nearly half of Russians now back mandatory COVID-19 vaccination, and 61% of those yet to get jabbed now planning to do so, polls say. Do you believe that? Sure. Financier Warren Buffett announces resignation from scandal hit Gates Foundation. Run! Ticked off, family injured in horror car crash in remote Russian region after blood-sucking insect crawled onto startled driver. A former Ivory Coast PM sentenced to life in prison in absentia over plotting alleged coup. A major free speech ruling sees U.S. Supreme Court side with teen who sued school district for suspending her over Snapchat swearing. Relaxing COVID restrictions during the summer could cause fast and significant increase in spread of Delta variant, says the ECDC report. NHS is fighting on multiple fronts amid 41% jump in COVID patients in England needing ventilators, health worker group warns. Hang on, gotta have a tea and vape. We're getting there. Had a few headlines today. All right. Italian PM Draghi pushes back at Vatican over opposition to anti-homophobia bill, says Italy is a secular state. Or a secular state, I don't know. UK Art Academy under fire after apologizing for betraying free speech of transphobic artist Jess DeWalls. Covered that one. Trust in the media is the lowest. Pardon me. Got myself vaping, I guess. Trust in the media is the lowest in the U.S., and interest in the news has waned since Donald Trump left office, says a survey. Well, yeah. U.S. Supreme Court overturns permission slip for cops to enter homes without warrants in a new ruling. That's good news. Merkel and Macron to propose revival of EU-Russia relations and meeting with Putin, says reports. Imprisoned software guru John McAfee found dead in Spanish prison after ruling to extradite him to the U.S., says reports. You know about that. Kamala Harris is finally visiting the U.S.-Mexico border days ahead of Trump as ex-president takes credit for trip. Let's see. Pedestrian bridge collapses in D.C., leaving 4 hospitalized and shutting down highway. Another article on McAfee. U.S. health officials admit unexpected heart problems in teens, but insist mRNA COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. At what, though? At what are they safe and effective? Biden nominates John McCain's widow Cindy for ambassador as mainstream media hail bipartisan move. Wouldn't call that a bipartisan move. I would call that a, bringing one of the good old boys on. F-15s and nuclear weapons. Oh, I covered that one. Biden brushes off the Second Amendment. Covered that shiznit. Man. Totally not cool. I don't know. Like I've been saying, I will reiterate again, and I will continue to do so until I can't any longer. Get ready. Plain and simple. Put extra food back. Put back extra supplies. Get ready. We got a whole lot of problems coming our way, both domestically and internationally and naturally, man-made. We've got a whole host of problems coming our way. And some of them, no matter what, we can't escape. Some of them we're going to have to deal with head on, regardless. Man can't stop it. Man didn't do it. Man can't stop it. We don't have that kind of control. And I'm talking about the pole shift, and it doesn't matter whether you want to call it grand solar minimum, pole shift. I believe it's essentially, they're not the same thing, but it's happening in the same cycle. Okay, I believe that all these things are coming, all these cycles are coming together. The pole shift cycle and the grand solar minimum cycle. We have, obviously we have many more grand solar minimums during a single pole shift cycle. So this just happens to be another grand solar minimum cycle that we are hitting, but it also coincides with the pole shift cycle. So again, we don't control that. We don't control that. And I know there may be a lot of individuals out there would be like, well, what the hell are we going to do about that? I mean, come on. How are we going to battle that one? Our plate carrier is not going to do much for that. Well, you're right. I would say look to the written word, and you can choose what written word you want to look into, because they almost all agree on the same things. People went into places like caves, right? The Egyptians literally built the catacombs so that they could go down into them. Okay, Mayans went into caves, Hopi Indians went into caves. I don't know, something about the Bible, something about a cave. Yeah. It's written. It's written what to do. But you better get ready. And do so in as many ways as possible. Remember that prepper priority list. Spiritually prepared, mentally prepared, intellectually prepared, and then physically prepared. But there's a lot to learn in that spiritually prepared, and there's a lot to learn if you look at many different beliefs. And as an example, I harp about light. That's my prepper pet peeve, I guess, right? I don't think other preppers talk about light enough and how critical, how important light is. And I just want to remind you that there's this whole thing about Hanukkah. You may have heard about Hanukkah. Yeah. And it was a miracle of having enough oil for the lamp. What do you think that lamp provided? Light. So I would take that as a cue. And make sure to have enough damn oil. And if that wasn't enough, the whole parable about some virgins and some wicks. I would say light's probably important. In fact, what is the number one command, the very first command that the Father makes ever? Let there be light. So I would think that light might be an important thing. But that's just me. That's my prepper pet peeve, right? But where do I get that from? Honestly, that's where I get that from. Hanukkah. That's where I get that from. That is what tells me the importance of light. Okay? You have to look for these things. They're all over, and they're in all the different belief systems. All the different belief systems have little bits here and there that are critical for you to know. There is not one single belief system that is 100% or even close to 100%. Not one. Not one. It's like Pokemon. You kind of have to collect them all. So, it's interesting when you do. Anyway, I I'm going to get the hell out of here. I will talk to you all tomorrow, God willing. I hope you all do well tonight and do well tomorrow. And we'll talk to you then, hopefully. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.